Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today in this explainer, we're diving into something truly fascinating. We're looking at the architectural blueprint behind transforming your everyday standard bakery into an absolutely mesmerizing retail experience. Think about your absolute favorite bakery for just a second. It's not just the smell of fresh bread that pulls you through the door, right? It's actually a highly calculated, meticulously designed system. Every single croissant, every little sign, every spotless counter, it's all part of a master plan. And today, we're going to break down exactly how they do it. So, here is our blueprint for today. First, conducting a merchandising audit. Then, the standards of professionalism. Third, mastering bakery display techniques. Fourth, front and back of house. And we'll wrap it up with the power of consistency. Okay, let's dive right into this with part one, conducting a merchandising audit. Because think about it, just like constructing any great building, you have to thoroughly survey the land before you lay a single brick. If you want to truly elevate a retail space, you can't just guess what works. You need a solid, step-by-step checklist. Step 1 is to objectively assess your current displays and product placement. Step 2, you've got to identify the gaps and those low-performing spots that are honestly just taking up valuable real estate. Step 3 is absolutely crucial, analyzing customer flow patterns. How do people naturally walk through your space? And Step 4, evaluating seasonal displays. You have to ask yourself, are they actually effective at driving sales, or have they just become, festive clutter? Running through this gives you an immediate actionable baseline. Let's zoom in on identifying those gaps for a minute. We're talking about literal empty spaces on the shelves, maybe dated signage that makes the whole brand feel kind of tired, and products that just sit there, untouched day after day. But here is the real secret weapon, involving the team for fresh ideas. When you actually bring your staff into the fold to spot these weaknesses, you aren't just fixing problems, you're building genuine accountability and pride right into the floor layout itself. Moving right along to part 2, the standards of professionalism. This is where we shift to the human element of our blueprint. Strict hygiene and dress codes aren't just about bossing people around or following arbitrary rules. They're actually a psychological trigger. A spotless uniform acts as an incredibly powerful subconscious signal to your customer that the food is safe, high quality, and crafted with care. It is literally the very foundation of trust in any food business. So, what does this actually look like in practice? Well, these are your non-negotiable building codes. It means strict uniform standards, impeccable personal grooming, and rigorous regular cleanliness routines for both the front and back of the house. But pay close attention to that last point. Strategies for daily staff buy-in. You could write the best rules in the entire world, but if the whole staff doesn't enthusiastically adopt these routines every single day, the entire illusion just breaks. Getting your team to completely buy into these standards is what makes the blueprint function. Now for the fun stuff. Part 3, mastering bakery display techniques. Okay, so we've built the foundation and set the codes. Now we are stepping into the interior design. Let me ask you this. Why do certain pastries always catch your eye the exact moment you walk in? Imagine walking into a high-end bakery right now. You aren't just randomly deciding what looks good. You are experiencing invisible, deeply calculated forces that are specifically engineered to guide your purchasing decisions. It all starts with eye-level zones. This is the strategic placement of products directly in your line of sight, utilizing human psychology to completely maximize appeal. Placing a perfectly glazed, high-margin pastry right at your eye level? Yeah, that's not an accident. It's a highly deliberate, psychological tactic to capture your immediate attention and drive sales before you even have a chance to glance at the bottom shelf. And this brilliantly illustrates how a great bakery uses a full arsenal of visual merchandising tactics. It's the strategic use of lighting to make a glaze practically glow behind the glass. It's product grouping and crystal-clear signage that tells a story. It requires relentless stock rotation to ensure everything looks incredibly fresh and you literally never run out. They use themed displays to create this sudden, urgent need for a holiday cupcake, and they deploy tastings and samples to stimulate your curiosity. Every single element here is actively engineering your experience and, well, your wallet. Which brings us to part 4, front and back of house. Here is the structural duality of the bakery. On one side, the front of house has to be totally welcoming, completely clutter-free, and beautifully lit to invite customers in. On the flip side, the back of house must be highly organized, relentlessly safe, and fiercely efficient to enable smooth operations. There's a built-in tension here, right? But it's a vital, symbiotic relationship. A beautifully merchandised front of house relies 100% on the unseen, well-oiled machinery of the back. If the back falls apart, believe me, the front instantly feels it. Bridging the gap between these two very different worlds requires perfectly synchronizing the space. This means crystal clear, constant communication between your teams. It relies heavily on having established quick fixes for those chaotic busy days so you don't completely drop your overall store presentation during a massive morning rush. And crucially, it means actually taking the time to schedule regular deep clean and maintenance reset days to keep the whole environment from degrading over time. Finally, part 5, the power of consistency. Because honestly, setting everything up perfectly on day one is great, but maintaining the structure over the long haul is what actually secures the business. Consistent presentation is the ultimate driver behind deep brand trust and reliable repeat customer visits. A one-off beautiful display, it honestly doesn't matter much in the grand scheme of things. It's the daily, weekly, unyielding consistency that transforms a skeptical first-time buyer into a loyal, everyday regular who knows the experience will be exceptional every single time they walk through the door. And that intense consistency creates what the source material calls the ripple effect. This is a super fascinating phenomenon where clean, highly appealing displays naturally motivate staff pride, which thereby elevates the overall operational performance. It's an amazing inside-out concept. A well-merchandised, beautiful space isn't just a sales tool for the customers, it actually acts as a massive psychological boost for the employees working in it. When they're surrounded by excellence, they naturally want to perform at a higher level themselves. But to keep that ripple effect going strong, you have to maintain the standard relentlessly. It requires rigorous daily and weekly consistency checks. It demands continuous staff merchandising training, so everyone is always aware of the standards they are upholding. And perhaps most importantly, it involves actually listening to what the customers say and actively using their feedback to tweak and adjust your displays and store environment. Which leaves us with this final thought. What hidden signals is your local bakery, or better yet, your own business, sending to customers through its visual presentation today? Are you building massive brand trust with strategic eye-level zones and pristine uniforms? Or are empty gaps and dated signs quietly turning people away? I challenge you to look at retail spaces from now on with the fresh, highly critical eyes of a merchandising architect. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.